Madison Hale had never felt her heartbeat pound so loudly inside her chest. It was her first day at Ridgeview High, and the hallways already felt like a battlefield she wasn't trained for. She wasn't loud. She wasn't confident. She wasn't anything close to the girls who stormed through the corridors like queens. She was simply the shy new girl who wished to disappear behind her books. She adjusted her simple cream-colored dress, the only outfit she felt safe in, and hugged her notebook close like a shield. Every step echoed with nervousness. She prayed no one would notice her, but fate had its own plans. At the far end of the hallway, 3 boys stood leaning against lockers with smirks carved into their faces. Derek Vaughan, the self-proclaimed king of the school, Mason Briggs, his loud-mouthed shadow, and Kyle Red, whose smirk alone made people feel smaller. Madison's footsteps slowed the moment Derek's cold eyes locked onto her. She felt it instantly. The predators feel prey walk into their territory. She tried to look at the floor and walk past them, her fingers tightening around the straps of her bag, but the universe gave her no escape. Derek pushed off the locker with a slow grin, blocking her path. "New girl?" he asked, voice dripping with arrogance. Madison swallowed. Yes. Excuse me, I need to get to class." She shifted sideways, but Mason immediately slid in beside her, trapping her between them. "Oh, look at that," Mason snickered, leaning down so close she could smell the gum he chewed. "She's shy. Isn't that cute?" Kyle stepped behind her, tapping her shoulder to make her turn, laughing when she flinched. Students passing by slowed, watching like it was entertainment. No one helped. No one dared. Ridgeview was a school where the strong ruled and bullies were stronger than fear. "Let me go," Madison whispered, voice trembling. Derek raised a brow. "What was that? Speak up. We can't hear the mice in our halls." Madison tried to slip between them, but Mason grabbed her notebook and tossed it across the floor. It slid under a row of lockers. "Oops," he said, clumsy. She turned to retrieve it, but Kyle's hand grabbed the back of her dress and tugged her backward. A tear of panic ran through her. "Please stop," she breathed. Kyle didn't. He tugged harder, hard enough that the shoulder seam of her dress made a sharp tearing sound. Madison froze as the air left her lungs. Her eyes widened, humiliation searing her like fire. "Let's see what the new girl hides," Derek smirked. Madison grabbed her ripped shoulder, trying desperately to hold the fabric together. "Stop, please!" The hallway stopped. Students stared. Someone recorded. And that's when Kyle, with a wicked grin on his face, grabbed the other side of her dress. Time slowed. Madison's voice broke into a cry. "No, please, rip." The sound tore through the hallway like lightning. Her dress ripped down the side, exposing her shoulder and part of her back. A wave of gasps filled the hall. Madison immediately tried to cover herself with her arms, bending down, trembling uncontrollably as tears pooled in her eyes. Derek grinned victorious. Mason laughed loudly. Kyle held the ripped fabric like a trophy. "Welcome to Ridgeview, princess," he smirked. Madison's knees buckled. Shame crashed into her like a tidal wave. Students stared, some whispering, some snickering, none helping. Her vision blurred with tears. She had never felt so small, so powerless, so exposed. Then the hallway temperature dropped. It didn't actually change, but it felt like it. Footsteps echoed, slow, heavy, controlled. Not like a student, not like a teacher. Like someone who had walked across war zones and returned with the stare of a man who feared nothing. Derek turned with annoyance. "Who the hell?" He froze. Everyone froze. At the end of the hallway stood a man in a navy blue shirt tucked into tactical fit cargo pants, boots laced tight, shoulders broad enough to block out the lockers. Behind him, his beard trimmed, hair slightly messy but military neat, his presence radiated something no student could name, but adults who had lived long enough recognized instantly. Danger, power, discipline, protection. The man scanned the scene slowly, Madison shaking, clutching her ripped dress, Derek holding dominance like a badge, Kyle gripping torn fabric. His jaw clenched, his eyes sharpened. Every student felt their breath catch. No one knew him, but everyone felt him. Derek forced a laugh. "Who are you supposed to be?" The man didn't answer at first. He walked forward, each step precise, deliberate. His voice finally dropped like gravel against stone. "I'm the one who's about to end this," Derek scoffed. "Listen, old man, This is high school. Stay out of... The man moved. No warning, no sound. Just motion. Clean, controlled, lethal. His hand grabbed Derek's wrist in a lock so fast Derek didn't even react until pain shot up his arm like fire. Ah, let go. The man twisted slightly, a controlled joint lock, not enough to break, but enough to make Derek drop to his knees in shock. Gasps erupted everywhere. Mason rushed forward. Hey, you can't... The man's eyes shifted to him, cold as steel. Stop! Mason stopped mid-step. He didn't know why. His legs simply refused to move. That voice wasn't a request. It was a command carved from years of authority. Kyle tried to back away, dropping the ripped piece of dress. We didn't do anything. The man stepped between Madison and the bullies, blocking her fully with his body like a shield. You tore a girl's dress, he said, voice deadly calm, humiliated her, cornered her, and you think that's nothing? Kyle shook his head, fear flooding his face. We were just joking. The man's eyes narrowed. A joke? He stepped closer. Kyle stepped back until he hit the locker. Does this look funny to you? His voice rose, not yelling, but powerful enough to shake the walls. The hallway stayed silent. Madison watched from behind. Him, still crying softly. But something inside her shifted. Safety. That's what she felt, something she hadn't felt since her father died 2 years ago. Derek gritted his teeth. You can't touch students. I'll get you arrested. The man leaned down, face inches from Derek's. Son, I've been shot at, blown up, dragged across deserts and dropped into oceans at midnight. But nothing scares me less than a spoiled boy who thinks being cruel makes him strong. Derek swallowed. Hard. Who are you? The man finally answered. Chief Petty Officer Damian Hale, United States Navy SEAL. A tidal wave of silence hit the hallway. Madison's breath caught. Hale? Her last name was Hale too. Her heart stopped. And, Damian added, I'm Madison's brother. The hallway erupted in whispers. What, she has a Navy SEAL brother? Mason looked like he was going to faint. Derek turned pale. Kyle stopped breathing entirely. Damian stood tall, still shielding Madison. Get up, he ordered Derek. Derek shook, rising slowly. Here's what's going to happen, Damian said. You three are going to walk to the principal's office, right now, and you're going to explain exactly what you did. Derek opened his mouth to argue. Damian took one step forward. Derek closed his mouth instantly. Yes, sir, Derek whispered. Mason and Kyle nodded frantically. The three rushed down the hallway like terrified puppies. Damian turned to Madison. She wiped her tears, embarrassed but trying to hold herself together. Maddie, Damian said softly, removing his tactical jacket and wrapping it around her shoulders. I'm here. The moment the jacket settled on her, she finally broke, sobbed, not from fear now but relief. Damian gently placed a hand on her head. No one will ever hurt you again. Cameras stopped recording. Students lowered their eyes, ashamed. Some even muttered apologies. Because in that moment they realized something. The shy new girl wasn't alone. She had a protector no bully could ever match, a Navy SEAL. And this was only the beginning. End of Chapter 1.